intervention is very important because there are a lot of assisted help that they can find in today.
So does that mean irregular periods is a reason now for women to have problems conceiving?
Likely, yes.
So is it
because
true?
Irregular periods can be associated with anovulation.
Okay. Is it true what people say that periods can be regulated if you go to the doctor? If a woman is irregular, it can actually be made to be regular.
Yes, you can regulate period with some drugs. You can use it to induce induction, as in drugs that can induce bleeds. Yeah, you can use it to regulate the period.
Okay. Are there any other things? For example, is it a hereditary condition?
There are some factors again. The tubal blockage is a big factor. You need a healthy tubes that will transport sperm and egg for conception to happen. Fertilization actually occurs in the fallopian tubes. So if a woman had a past infection, sexually transmitted infection in the past, or if a woman has fluid-filled tubes, they might find it difficult to conceive. They will have difficulty in conception. And that can only be diagnosed when you seek help and an intervention called hysterosalpingogram is done. And that will be able to show that, yes, this woman has tubal blockage.
Are there any environmental causes? For example, I hear stuff about some chemicals that might be inhaled or something like that that could affect the fertility of a woman. Is that true?
Yes, environmental exposures are rising in today. We've implicated things like bisphenol A, phthalate, lead, and mercury.
Where do you find all those?
Bisphenol A is found in plastics. You find that in plastics, and then they could be found in pesticides as well. And these have been implicated in the growing trend of endometriosis. The analysis today is showing that it's likely that most women having endometriosis are exposed to these chemicals, as well as even polycystic ovarian syndrome.
But you know, some of these chemicals are pretty common, you know? I mean, even if you don't meet pesticides at the level of the farm,
yeah,
you get traces of it in your food, don't you?
Very correct, because they use it in farming. So, but the amount that you are exposed is very important, or continuous exposure to those chemicals is very important. Even men, the chemicals have been shown to reduce sperm concentration and motility.
Okay, even in men?
Even in men, yes. There are, especially people that work in petrochemical surroundings.
Is there any type of, does this condition, I mean, is this condition affected by the food that people take? For example, is there food that is bad or food that is good for fertility?
A healthy and varied nutrition is very important for you to achieve conception. Most people, you know, we have a lot of diet rich in carbohydrates today, but energy-giving foods will make you put on a lot of weight, and that will put a negative impact on your fertility. So I would advise women to eat a lot of vegetables, fresh fruits, and then a lot of vitamins like antioxidants. They call them antioxidants that will help mop up all the, I don't know how to say it, oxygen radicals in the body. These radicals, they tend to attack cells that will aid you to have a good fertility. So if you take multivitamin, just simple multivitamins that you can get over the counter, can help you solve these problems.
Okay, so as a woman is solving the problem for herself, can she also be solving the problem for her unborn daughter who is in the womb?
Exactly.
Is this something that a mother can help, you know, kind of like in vitro help for the child before the child is born?
Exactly, because recent research has shown that what a mother is exposed to recently can actually affect the unborn child.
Okay, so there are some girls, we've spoken about women having irregular periods.
Okay.
But there are some girls, let's say maybe 14, 15 years old, she's not thinking of getting married, she's not thinking of having a baby, and she has had her menarche, she has had her first period, but they continue to have irregular periods, or they say funny things like they have them only when they come back home from school, if they are boarding house students, or they have them when they use very hot water. Does this make any sense?
Naturally, that's normal. After your first ever menses, which is menarche, it takes about 1 to 2 years for regular menstruation to start to happen. So that's normal.
So the girl is not in any danger.
Exactly.
But at what point do you now say somebody's daughter may need some help? Even though she's not thinking of having a baby, she's not married, she's just a girl.
Yeah.
She's probably happy it's not coming anyway.
Yeah, a child is 16 years and above and hasn't seen menstruation should be of worry to the parents.
Okay.
Because there are some other structural causes or genetic abnormalities like Turner syndrome. They might not have or see their periods because they haven't got ovaries at all.
They have not got ovaries?
Yes. They haven't got ovaries that can release the estrogen that is needed for them to menstruate. So if a child is above 16 years of age and nothing seems to do her, then the mother should be worried and seek help.
Wow. Okay, now obviously periods are associated with fertility.
Very correct.
Is it possible for a woman not to have periods but to still ovulate?
Very correct. Some people go into what we call premature menopause or premature ovarian failure, but sometimes you find out that they might not be bleeding. And also in polycystic ovarian syndrome, a woman might not bleed and then she shows up at the clinic and you do a pregnancy test and she's positive. It happens
so
quite
really,
often.
This is really beyond the interpretation of the lay person or the regular person.
Yes.
So the person has to actually seek help.
Implantation is actually a very complex issue that no man can help. Sometimes things are left to God as well. We leave all this to God because we understand the God part in what we do. We can only try, but God will say, yeah, and crown our works.
Okay, so now that we've gone through all this, what are the treatment options for people who are seeking help? I realize that some people are not as bad as they think they are, Maybe a few adjustments here and there. You take us through all that and the more complex ones, but we'll take a break first.
Thank you.
Let's take this very short break. When we're back, we go into treatment options. Stay with us.